because right now I think in Nigeria various panels have been set up to look into different demands by the NSAS people. You know, Mr. Charles, have you seen or heard anything about that recently?
Yeah, just like you said, the protests, however, have produced a lot of good news. We are following that in every state right now. In every state in Nigeria, I think it's about 36 states with federal capital. They have set up panels looking into the request of the NSAS and protests, and then everybody's watching them. They are trying to be as transparent as they could be. I think those panels are also made up of every panel is also made up of some of the youths, either one or two. At least we know very well the one being in Lagos and the one in Anambra also that are now sitting, getting a lot of, you will not believe it, they are getting a lot of complaints. Youth, people that have been involved in one way or the other. The news is very sad from what we're hearing. Some people that have come forward so far and testify, a lot of bad things were done to these people. So, but all the same, the government are listening, in as much as Tunde said that, hey, these things come with the territory, okay? This is something that government could have known. I mean, government should have known that if a protest is going on, they have to put something in place in case when the protest ends. I can give you for an example. Right now, if you hear the news about the coming election on Tuesday, somehow the security agents are probably...
You're talking about the election in the United States. I hate to cut you.
Yes, I mean, what I'm trying to say is, in relation to what happened in Nigeria, the problem is that the security there didn't do what they're supposed to do. After the protest, they're supposed to come over, and they're supposed to come out and take over, then to prevent these hoodlums from what they did. Right now, America here, like, because of the election coming on Tuesday, some places are putting some securities in place. Some places like Walmart, they pulled out all their guns out of the whole stores. You guys know that Walmart is #1 dealer when it comes to gun. They pulled out, in just thinking that there might be a little bit of something that might happen depending on how the election goes. So Nigerians could have done that, but these are the things that we are protecting. We do not have a good security in Nigeria that could have prevented this.
Sure.
Yeah, but right now, they're doing their best. They're doing their best to rally those hoodlums with the videos and some of the information they are getting. They've arrested some of them in different states.
Okay. So Queen.
Well,
Queen was out there.
Yeah, I was out there. Let me quickly touch what happened in Nigeria, like what Mr. Charles was saying. It's going to be difficult for them to put in any security people out there because the people that were protesting, fine, at the initial stage, they were actually, soliciting for the police that they should take care of them. But a whole lot of people are angry because their target is actually SARS. And SARS is just an arm of the police force in Nigeria. So definitely for you to see them out there, it can trigger anything. And people can go haywire and start attacking them, which actually happened along the way. There's just no way they could do that. The best thing they would have done is for government to get private security outfits to mount them there just in case if anything is going to happen. There was no ambulances, there were no doctors in case if anything happened. If protest is happening in advanced country, we know what they do. They make sure that in strategic places they know things will happen. They know there might be stampede and people might have injury and stuff like that. So they make provision for that. But our own government closed their eyes and said there was nothing happening. They did not provide nothing, to secure people's lives. And at the end of the day, we all saw what happened. Yeah, in any country, if you have to see, the trend of protests in all the countries in the world, at the end of the day, who does it? They tend to take over. By the time it's about maybe 1 or 2 weeks, 10 days, they will take over. They will come out. It happened here. when they broke into stores in New York, they carted away with a whole lot of millions of worth of products, of goods, resources, and everything. So government should have known that at the end of the day, things like that will happen. And we can't even shy away from the fact that some people were speculating that even the government, they were using some people, they were infusing thoughts into them when the protest was even very peaceful. They never made anything, against the government. They were just asking for their right. But the talks were coming. Where were they coming from? Who was sponsoring them? They caught some of them and they were able to talk that, okay, this was that sent them. So our governments in Nigeria would say have a long way to go. They know, and they are the cause of the problem. But they never made any provision, which is really bad. A lot of lives were lost, which is not supposed to be so because of their negligence. It's just negligence. If we say, okay, this is 21st century, if you're saying, okay, advanced country, when are we going to be advanced? All these people we see as our leaders, they come here, they see all these things, they study here, their children study here. So what are we talking about? I believe it's a deliberate act from the arm of government that we have in Nigeria. Yeah. And talking about here, of course, they know what they're doing because they know people can just get into any store and take the guns and start killing people. So they know how to protect their own people. They value lives in America. That is just the truth. But in Africa, I don't know, especially in Nigeria, do they value anybody's life? No. Do they care about anybody? No. And that was what we saw on the 20th of October. We saw what happened when they killed people. People were saying, don't say it's massacre. What can we say? If two people were dead by the soldier that's supposed to protect we, the citizens, so what do we call that?
But the thing is
we call that.
Yeah, the thing is this. Let's be realistic because we saw most of the things that were happening during the protest. We know that the police were out there, even with the protesters at the beginning. The police were out there, even the NSAS or the so-called SARS are not there. But the police people, like you said, NSAS is a department, one department of the police. But the police people were out there, hanging with those protesters at the beginning. It was when this thing changed and was when the shooting took place. It was a day after the shooting, that all these things went haywire, So in the beginning, some of the police people were out there. These guys were feeding the police people, actually. They were. Mm-hmm. And they were hanging with them, protecting them. But when that shooting took place, then the next day, that's when everything went wrong.
And we saw what happened, at the end of the day, and talking about the looting, when they say the protesters or the hoodlums, we can't even see the protester because the protest was peaceful. The hoodlums took over. What were they looting? Were they looting the treasury? No. Most of them were looting food because they were hungry. People are hungry. See the way people were taking rice and taking noodles, because they are hungry. The food that makes, those are the food that made for the citizens. Those are the food that's supposed to give to them for COVID-19. And we're already in October. This thing started early this year. And this food, what happened to them? I saw a picture of one of the people that maybe stole I won't even use that word stole, took because they were hungry. The yam flour, the gari that she took, that is cassava flour, was spoiled because it was long overdue. They ought to have given this food to people. The president's daughter came out and said this is not her father's fault, that they had already signed that the food had been given out to people. Who do we believe? What are we talking about here? People are hungry. I would see them as looters. The only pain I had was that those people were destroying, individual stores. They went into people's stores. The people that are struggling like them, they were getting away with their stores, with their product, which is bad. It's really bad. We don't need that. we should be our brother's keeper. Let us face the people that cause this problem. For crying out loud. I saw one senator's house online in Oyo State in Ibadan. They were taking out food, COVID food. They were taking out motorbike. People were rushing to take out stuff. Why are they hiding all these things? What for? Who are they keeping all those things for? See.
That we don't know. We know that the governors came out and said they were saving it for the unfortunate. I don't know who are the fortunate and when. That was one of the reasons the meeting of the governors. That's what came out of that. Again, I saw I think it's Buhari, PRO or whatever. This somebody, Tunde, remember his name. The man said, you know what he said? He said that people are not hungry, but they are greedy.
Yes.
Can you imagine that kind of, somebody was like, is there the type of greediness that you guys do with our money? Or you talking about, the man came out and said that Nigerians are not hungry, but they are greedy.
But they are greedy.
Yes. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It is the kind of thing that you will hear from somebody's mouth that is not hungry. You know, if he puts himself in the position of those people on the street. I've always said it that education and hunger and poverty are the two instruments of government that they use to oppress people in Nigeria. When you deny people of education, they don't know their rights. When you don't feed them, they cannot fight for their rights. They will fight for their stomach crust. And that was why when you saw that, when they started going to those warehouses and seeing those COVID-19 palliatives that have been stored there, you know, with the government, at the time the COVID-19 was raging around February, March, government was giving them bread. They give them one loaf of bread, you know, 2 loaves of bread for a whole family. Meanwhile, you stored bags and bags and bags and bags of rice, bags of so lot of things you stored in the warehouse. For what purpose? It was supposed to be for those people for COVID-19. Bring it out, feed the people so that way you can be a step ahead of the virus. But no, they did not do that. So when the people saw that, these are people that are hungry. And I think aside from the fact that things are not going on right in Nigeria, hunger was one of the issues that led to this NSAS thing. You know, we have to take care of the policemen ourselves as well.
They don't have a job, can't feed himself.
Yes, the police people are human beings. We have to take care of them. The police are there to protect the citizenry. But when you don't take care of the police, they feed on the citizenry because they are human beings too. They are hungry. You know, so it becomes everywhere you turn around, there's a checkpoint. Before you go past this checkpoint, they must take something from you. And you have SARS. It's a specialized police force meant for anti-robbery. What are they doing on the streets? Why would a SARS person stop just a person walking down the street holding a cell phone and they start harassing you? That's just ridiculous. You know, so I mean,
what is the description of their job? What's the description of their job?
That's what I'm saying, that every police, I said this on the program last week, that every police department needs to be, you need to have your jurisdiction. You used to know where you're supposed to be. If you're the local police on the street, you're the local police on the street. If you are NSAS, anti-robbery or SWAT or whatever they call your name, that's what you are. You don't have jurisdiction on the street unless you are called to a scene or to an incident. There should be state police. Give me jurisdiction for everything. You know, federal police, local police. Nigerian police force needs to be decentralized. That is the only way you can police. There needs to be community policing, you know, so that when you make a budget for this state, in that budget, there's money to take care of the police people in that state. So that the local government, when you have a budget for the local government, there's money to take care of the police in that local government. So that way, it's not that Nigerian police force, how much do they pay the police? To be honest with you, how much are they paying? They are not paying anything.
Less than $100.
There's no housing. There's no housing. When we were growing up back in Nigeria, there used to be police barracks where the police would live with their family and stuff like that. I don't think they have police barracks anymore now. Police barracks, you know, and if they have it, I'm sure it's an eyesore.
Oh my God! You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
It is ridiculous. So the police people need to be taken care of. We cannot just be saying NSAS. NSAS, yes, I support the youth. I support everything on their agenda. But at the same time, let us take care of the police. It is not easy for you to take an oath to protect, to put your life on the line. Every day you walk out on the street, you're a target. So when those guys were looting, at that point, the police had to save their own lives too. They had to back off.
See.
Yes.
Please don't say they were looting. They were not looting. I keep saying that. When people say they were looting, the people that were looting at Treasury, what did they do about them? What were they looting?
The reason I say that, no, the reason I say they were looting is because those are not the protesters. Those are thugs.
Yes, they were thugs. Even people, you know,
so the thugs were the ones that were looting. The protesters were doing the right thing.
They were doing the right thing.
People were just minding their business, singing, protesting, and then you send soldiers out there. And then you execute. I don't call that a massacre. You executed people for no just reason. And then you know the funny thing about it? They are now denying it. They will not even let the committee came to the military mortuary to see what they have there. They won't let the committee go in there. They say they are doing construction. What kind of construction are you doing?
You see, that's one thing about, when
we're talking about transparency.
It's going to change. Whenever there is something, remember, when there's a problem or any corruption with people embezzling money, they always come up with one excuse.
Yes.
When you try to investigate. Now, these guys, this panel went into the mortuary. First of all, they didn't allow them to go in.
They didn't let them in.
They kept them outside there for 30 minutes. And then after that, they claim, it's under construction. Now under construction. It's just like when they come to investigate about money, somebody say, it's no longer in the safe. Snake ate it. So now that mortuary that they went, because they have a tip, they got information that some of these people were taken that night after the shooting.
Yes.
Taken to the mortuary. They had that information. That's why, and this panel are free. They were formed to be free to go anywhere they want without it, because that's how they're gonna get information. And now they had their tip, they went straight there and they didn't allow them to go in. So here comes again Nigeria.
Yes. They were keeping the food for sin.
Yeah, they said they're keeping the food for the unfortunate. I wonder why the unfortunate.
All the states of the Federation. This is sad. All the states of the Federation, even the people they were taking those food, they were not the Turks. You see mothers, you see children cutting away food because they were hungry.
Yes.
People are hungry. I remember when this pandemic started, the real people that gave out money and food were all these celebrities in Nigeria. They came out to start giving food to people. Churches came out to start giving food to people. What did government do? Nothing. We were only hearing about palliative. What happened to now we saw what happened. Now we saw where the palliative happened. Now we know what happened.
And all these things were donated from other countries, from some organizations.
Yes.
And we had, like the Queen was saying earlier, we had, I believe it was in Ibadan, different types of motorbikes. Over 100 motorbikes.
That's what they use for politics. That's what they give their talks to run around during politics.
Exactly.
I don't know. Nigeria, we have to do better. We just have to do better. And I believe that this EndSARS, this protest, has opened up people's eyes to a lot of things that it's so much you can do. You cannot get away with everything anymore. So all these committees, and the first thing they need to address, first and foremost, as far as I'm concerned, is poverty. That issue of poverty. How do you get a graduate to finish school, a 4-year grad, go to school? Even the lecturers are not well paid. Every day there's ASU strike. You go to school in Nigeria for 4 years, you spend 8 years or 6 years because there's ASU strike in between. Okay, you go through all that. Your parents go through sending you to school. It's not easy to go to school in Nigeria. Accommodation, books, and everything. You go to school. At the end of the day, you finish school, you come out of school. There's no work. And then you're roaming the streets back and forth. And then, they say, maybe the first degree is not enough. You go for a second degree. You go for the second degree, you come back, the situation is still the same. So anybody in Nigeria that does not have any family member abroad sending you money to take care of yourself or take care of the family, you are in trouble. That's a problem right there. So you go to school now, and then God forbid you fall sick. The healthcare is not there. You have to pay such a huge amount of money before you can be treated. You have to pay for the medicine before it is administered. You don't have money to pay for the medicine. The person is going to die.
It's true.
It is very unfortunate. So those are the things. There are certain basic amenities that's human rights. You don't even have to fight for it. They are supposed to be there. Housing, feeding, healthcare, those are human rights. Those things are to be established. That's the reason why
by the government.
Into government. When we put you into an office, you're there to provide a service to the people, not a service to your pocket.
What they cannot do for themselves, that's what the government is.
Yeah.
They do, yes, they give services that people cannot provide by themselves.
It's true. The person that I'm actually really disappointed at is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm disappointed in him. Why am I disappointed in him? These are the people that were part of, the dividends of democracy during Awolowo's era. These people went to public school free education. And this is a man that during Abacha, when they wanted to kill him, during Nadeko, that he took off. People supported him to get to where he is today. But what is he breeding today? Thugs in Lagos State. He was breeding thugs. That's what I tell people. I said, when you close your eyes from education, look at what this man did when he was the governor. Jakonde. Chief Lateef Jakonde.
Yes.
Conde of Lagos State. Look at his achievement. What did he achieve? What did Bola Tinubu achieve? If you meet anybody today, under all this, and if you see the number of graduates, master degree holders that are working for some non-entities because they couldn't get job anywhere. If you see anybody now, what do you want to become? You say, I want to go and join that bureau. I want to become, a tout. Because they believe that's where the money is. That's where they're funding them, they're putting their money. So that when the election comes, they have people to protect them. They have to protect,
yes.
That's yes. It's unfortunate. It pains me. I'm mad about it. Because when you see people that really struggle, they went to school and you see them on the street doing nothing, then what do you expect? And some people are flaunting millions of naira in front of them for doing nothing. And the lecturers are hungry, the professors are not well paid, the places are not well funded, and you give them gun, they will use the gun to rob people. Because they're hungry. They don't have nowhere to sleep. When we went to do a peaceful protest last week, David Adodo was saying he served in the Nigerian army for 1 year. How many years ago was this? It should be close to 20 years. As at that time, he said he was buying his own boots, buying his own uniform in a country like Nigeria. What is wrong with us? What is wrong with our leaders? What is wrong with them? This treasury they are losing, what are they going to do with the money? They recovered a lot of money for Abacha. They were saying Abacha looted money. I don't know, maybe that man looted any money because the money they recovered was not put on his name. The man was seeing Vision 2020. Well, I don't know. That's what people are saying. But what happened to the money? All this money that were recovered, we didn't have no good hospital in Nigeria except private hospital. Nothing. Education system, nil.
When was one thing sometimes I try to, when I get on this social media, not much of social media, but something like Channel News, I've sent an email to some of my, you see, when these senators come on air, or anybody, all these politicians, all the government, whatever, I keep saying, why don't you guys just look in their eyes, look straight in their eye and ask them a question? There's one thing I want to know. What is it after all this 28 billion per person, 50 billion per person, or whatever they take? What is it has these people that are ruling Nigeria from whatever, as far back as you can go, what is it that they have done in Nigeria that works? I wanted somebody to tell me one thing. Maybe steady electricity, water, good schools, hospital, good roads, security. Let's stop here. If I mean 6 things so far, you can say regime after regime, government after government, none of them can a Nigerian government be proud of. I mean, and they keep talking about it. Why don't they talk about it? You keep talking about 8 points or 8 whatever they call themselves. It's whatever their strategy. If none of these 6 things, none, just tell me one thing that works. Forget about Lagos. Forget about what works in Lagos or in Abuja. We are talking about what works in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, nothing.
Employment. Can you be proud of that? Can you be proud of good roads? Can you be proud of electricity, water, security, hospital? Forget about job or education. I mean, and we are talking about trillions of dollars every year. What are they doing? Just, I mean, none of this media can ask somebody face, just look in their face and ask them that question. Give me one thing. And some of them have gone through 8 years of governorship, right?
Yeah.
8 years of governorship, 4 years of a minister, 4 years of something else. I mean, tell me one thing that you can, one thing, just one thing you've done.
I can tell you one thing that they have done. I can tell you one thing that they have done.
That's the thing we don't want to know.
They pay the toll gates to themselves and they collect the money at the toll gate.
Exactly. One senator, one ex-senator came out. I saw the video. I kept the video. I wouldn't want to mention names now. He came out to say he's tired. People, they're going to come out to confess. He said he's tired. They were interviewing him. The lady asked him if he had bribed, to get to a position before. He said, well, he can say yes. Because if you can give money to the officials of the police that they put in charge, if you can give them money when they are casting their votes, if you can give the INEC officials bribe, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. You gave them money. Okay, this I made this provision for you. Why are you making provision for them? So he said he's tired. He said, yeah, he bribed. If you give anybody money for something that's supposed to be free and fair, what are you trying to do? Now they're getting tired. The youth, I'm happy the youth they're getting on their feet, and I'm happy about it. Things gonna change in Nigeria. I'm very positive about that. The only thing is, well, right now it's a bit low because of what is going on, but they have not lost focus. They've not lost focus of what they're doing. I admire Falls. It's doing very, very well. It's doing greatly well. He was interviewed on CNN and he still made his point known that these are the things that we want. If Nigeria are saying in the next 40 years, that's when we're going to have light, electricity in Nigeria. Are you really? And Nigeria can supply Ghana electricity.
Yeah.
We give Ghana electricity.
Nigeria, so Togo, that comes from Kainji Dam.
And we don't have it in Nigeria. Why are we like this?
Yeah, we supply Togo also.
Because we're being recycled by the same set of people for too long. We're being recycled for too long. In the last 60 years, who are the people that are discovering Nigeria? The same set of people, the same set of family. We don't want it anymore. We're done.
Tunde, let's you go ahead. Let's go a break, and then someone that's probably going to be joining us, but when we go on break.
Before we go on break, I just want to acknowledge Miss Flowers. She's been very active online, saying, giving her own opinions online. It's a lot of opinions. I cannot read everything, but. Oh,
yeah, that was what she's been saying.
Great. So let's take a break, and then when we come back, we'll go with Miss Flowers, and then we'll go from there.
If the government refuse to develop the region and continue the marginalization and injustice, the youth to the next people coming after us, I think will be more brutal than what we have done.
Calling me a monster, calling us fake. No way, no way, no way. Calling me a monster just cause we say it.
We're from the block where it rains, where we create barricades, keep our position away. That's why we strap with the case. Don't get kidnapped from your place, cause it could happen today. Not knowing how to behave, that is a sign that you made. Just lose your life with the waste, your body found in the lake. You around and the fisherman found you drowning for days. You know we come from a place where people smile but it's fake. How could they smile if you look around? They're surrounded by pain. I've seen the sky turn to gray. It took the light from the day. It's like the heads of the state ain't comprehending the hate that the oppressed generate when they've been working like slaves to get some minimum wage. You turn around and you blame them for their anger and rage. Put them in shackles and chains because of what they became. We are the monsters you made.
Calling me a monster, calling us fake. You make them monitor the turn us away. Calling me a monster just cause we say it. No way, no way, no way. Calling me a monster, make no mistake. But there's only so much that you can take. La-dee-da-da-doo-dee-da-da-doo-dee. We are the monsters you made.
I bet they thought it was cool, probably thought we was fools when we would break all the rules and skip them classes in school. Because the teacher them teaching what the white man them teaching, them European teachings in my African school. So the classes in school, Mungo Park and the fool. That's how they found River Niger, they been lying to you. Ain't no denying the truth. See what I'm trying to do is draw the line for the mothers crying with dying as youth. Come walk a mile in my shoes, see if you smile at the truth. See if you die just your fool. That's when you might have a clue of what the we go through. You're fucking lucky if you live through the day. Better pray that God always stay with you. Ain't fucking safe any day. The reaper be coming for you. We need a change and it ain't no way I'ma take an excuse. Smile finding a way or fucking smile in the grave. This is the price that you pay. We are the monsters you made.
It's Focus.
You're listening to African Voices Radio.
Them monitor the turn us away. Calling me a monster just cause we say it. No way, no way, no way. Calling me a monster, make no mistake. But there's only so much that you can take. La-dee-da-da-doo-dee-da-da-doo-dee. We are the monsters you made.
Since we met you people 500 years ago, look at us. We've given everything. You are still taking. In exchange for that, we have got nothing. Nothing. And you know it. But don't you think that this is over now? Over where? Is it over?
Thank you for hanging out with us. We're back from our little break. Before we went on break, we were all talking about the situation in Nigeria as nothing is working. No amenities, no water, no light. Nigeria is over 60 years old. No good roads. No, everybody is hungry. No good policing. Security is an issue. It appears the only thing that is working in Nigeria is, senators and all the people put in office stashing their pocket with money. It seems like that's the only thing working in Nigeria because they do a very good job of that. You can't you can't deny that. It's bad that people that are put in the and then I also want to encourage the press. We need the press. The press has to be more vocal. The press has to be more demanding. The press must be more inquisitive. The press, I know that the press in Nigeria is not as free as anywhere else in the world. Because when you ask these people this question, you believe that, they can hurt you, they can rule you, they can do whatever. I go back to Kayode and that journalist. The man was simply asking a question during his job. And you are telling the man, you know who I am. Mm-hmm. You have service to that man. You have an office that you owe that man a service. Once you are put in an office, you're a civil servant. I don't understand why you're going to an office and then you think that you are lord of everybody and then you can do whatever. That is what happened when there's hunger, when there's no education, when you don't have all those things. So when you see somebody that is that affluent, you have to kiss their butt so that you don't get in trouble, so that you don't lose your menial job that you're doing and the press has to be more vocal. The press is the voice of the people. It is the only way we can know what is going on. If this EndSARS does not happen, all these things that are happening, these palliatives and all this, nobody in the media, and I'm sure people in the media do something. Nobody in the media said it. So the press has to be more vocal. The press has to be, the ones that are safeguarding people, let people know what is going on. I know in Nigeria they will shut you down. I've looked at this in the Guardian newspapers in those days. They will send military to come and shut you down. No, this is a democracy. And the tenets of democracy is a free press. We must have a free press that is bold enough to protect people and ask the right questions of these people. When you start embarrassing them in front of cameras, you can't answer to questions you're asking them, then maybe they'll start thinking back. You don't need to, they'll start thinking back that, maybe they will ask me, let me do the right thing before somebody come and ask me and put me on television. So the press, you have the media, electronic media, and you have the print media. They've come a long way. It's not been easy, but we still have to do much more. A lot still has to be done, especially now there's social media. Thank God for social media. You pick your cell phone and you record and it's out there. But we still have to do more. We need to do more. That's okay. So
Tunde, you're talking about social media. Did you hear what Lai Mohammed said?
Yeah, Lai Mohammed is a sick man.
they don't even call him Lai Mohammed. They Lai Mohammed.
I don't listen to people like that. That's a waste of time for me. There's nothing is good coming out of his mouth. He's talking about regulating social media. What generation? I mean, what is he talking about? How do you regulate social media? I don't know what he's talking about.
I know.
I believe the youth, now that they came out, they're going to liberate a lot of things in Nigeria. If not, you've been there before. You're a pressman, see, you know what it entails. Even the big press institutes in Nigeria, if you mess up or if you say the truth, they'll shut you down.
Yeah.
They close your business.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That has always been their pattern. Yes. But right now, when these youths, now that they're out, they know what to do. Oh, yeah. They have people right now that believe that, okay, we have a whole lot of people behind us. And mind you, a whole lot of these press people, they are hungry.
Yeah.
Even they are working for, are they getting paid? They would tell them to go and get the news. When they come back, they give them stipend. Nothing.
Yes.
If you try to come out and say the way it is in Nigeria, you know what they can do. They look for that person that they can't find that person no more. Exactly. But I believe that things are going to change. Things will definitely change in Nigeria. It will change in Nigeria. The youth, they are standing on their feet to demand for the right thing. And I believe all these old people recycling themselves, they will go into their shell. They know how to do. They know how to behave now, because if they go back to their constituency, they have to be accountable. They're not accountable. They don't care. Now they have people that can challenge them. I saw a video. Miss Flower, welcome. Just give me a minute. I saw a video of one of these maybe House of Rep or maybe State House of Assembly member up north. He went to commission one stupid project. They beat him up. That this is not what you're supposed to give to us. They beat him up. So when you know you're going back to your constituency, and if you're not accepted there, you're going to do the right thing. Let's welcome our guest, Miss Flower.
Well, hello.
How you doing?
Hello. I'm so speechless right now, just able to tune in to hearing you guys. I mean, I just got here from Nigeria yesterday, so I'm still in a thought of surviving SARS, being in the middle of it, being entrapped in our compound for 3 days of it. And just to get on now is really humbling to hear you guys that's originally from there really talking about what's going on. Like, I'm honored. Like, I think it's truly God. Where do I fit in? Where do I get in? And you guys' voices have to start nationally traveling because, I plan to go back in December because I actually started a program while I was over there just to inspire some of the young Nigerian males as far as their education, being able to excel and do things and tap into their goals. But you guys are talking right on point with the political, like just the political corruption from the small experiences that we had. We had 2 incidents where, I was actually exploited for money just as an American, and like, look, do you want to go or do you want to be inconvenienced? Like, we was at the point even in the airport to where we had to run on the plane with our shoes off because we were detained at immigration because we stayed in Nigeria like 10 days past our date of return. It wasn't no fault of ours. A lot of the aircrafts wasn't coming into the Indigo airport. So one of our flights were canceled, and then the protesters pretty much blocked the airport, where they shut the airport down one day. So I'm really humbled because to hear you guys talking about it, I know God is trying to keep it freshly in my mind to really engage with this because I was calling when I got home yesterday. I'm like, who's responsible for Nigeria? Like, I'm not educated in the international connection politically, but I knew.
Oh, we lost her.
Oh boy.
Bad signal from where she is.
Oh well, I hope we're able to get her back soon.
She's back.
She comes back in.
She's back.
She's back.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I think I got it. Am I good?
Yes, you're good.
Okay. So I mean, you guys help me, help you, help us, because not only is it humbling, but it's life-changing to go to Nigeria. I've been there on 4 occasions. This has been my 4th occasion, and this is the longest time I stayed there. But the experience is meant to be life-changing, and it's meant to show us somewhere how do we supposed to, we in the United States, connect with our culture in Nigeria. How do we become a voice to let us know? I can't remember a day that I was there and I didn't have 4 or 5 kids knocking at our compound gate because they knew the American would give them food and help them do what they needed to do. But it's so much bigger than that. And I look to you guys for that type of ability. How do we help? Where does help? How do we help?
Miss Flowers, thank you so much for, coming to the program first and foremost to share, your experiences in Nigeria. This is what we talk about on this show.
Wow.
Like you asked the question, who is in charge in Nigeria?
Who is in charge?
We don't even know.
Wow.
To be honest with you.
Wow.
Who is in charge in Nigeria? Because I think the elected officers are the ones in charge in Nigeria. If you have money in your pocket, you're in charge. Let me just say it like that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why you see you're exposed to the corruption, you're exposed to everything just being haphazardly, nothing is working right like it's supposed to be working right. And we have people like you from outside who have a sincere and genuine heart who want to come into something to help and don't even know where to start off from.
Where to start? Because we were there on Independence Day, like it was 60 years of Independence Day, and a lot of people were so discouraged and heavy-hearted, they wasn't even celebrating as normally.
Yeah.
And it was obvious that people are just really like, they're so frustrated in Nigeria. To even when the protesting was going on, and they pretty much told a lot of us to stay inside, They busted up a couple of the ATM machines. And then I saw the effects of the protesters, even on the average citizens there, because they couldn't even go to the ATM machine. It was like so crazy, because the day when they did get to go back to the ATM machine, you had like 30, 40 people just trying to access an ATM machine. I said, wow, I'm glad the protesters stopped, because if the protesters didn't stop, I don't think Nigeria, especially in Indigo, could have handled the protesters' aggressiveness, because at this point in time, it was just natural to have shooting all over the place. Like if we was driving, it would be suddenly like duck, 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 because they're shooting. And a lot of times I do believe the officers, a lot of times when I looked and it was close enough, they would be shooting in the air, trying to get the protesters to scatter. But then you ran into the protesters where everybody wanted to be shooting. So it was a very scary time. I tell everybody I had my first CNN experience where I felt like I was in the midst of everything. But it was totally like my heart just really break for the youth, because there was so many young men who were just really prepared for death. Like they were, I looked in some of their faces, and even we was in a situation to where, you know, they had shut all us down in this area, and some of them were down there, and they was not like backing down. Like they would, when the police was coming and shooting in the air, they was trying to make sure that they were aggressive. They were prepared to die. I've never seen that type of fearlessness in a population of individuals. Like I said, you know, Nigerian, you guys y'all humbling to me. Like I tell people, you know, I didn't see fear in these protesters' faces. Like they were prepared to demonstrate their frustration even through violence. And I think we as the older generation, we have to look at that as we can't sit back and expect a generation to function like some of us have as older individuals, because a lot of older individuals, they just go about their day in Nigeria day to day. Like they just try to make day to day. You know, I tell people all the time, they say, why do you give so much? Because I don't mind when I'm down there. I want to give. I want to share. I want to make sure people know that our blessings from God actually come from our sharing. And I tell them that. I was even telling my husband that. He was like, I said, baby, we can't never stop giving, especially in Nigeria, because we saw the faces of the children hungry and can't, you know, make it through the day. Like we just saw so much. Like I say, how do we help? And I think this is probably the first of many conversations we could have, because, you know, the first day of the protesting was a Tuesday. And we had our first meeting because God inspired me to start working on the infrastructure of a program there that was basically for young Black men to really be able to excel in their education. Because I see so many of them that are very confined. You know, they got a degree, they went to school, but at the same time, they are working for narrows, and you're talking 30,000 narrows a month, and you're working 10 and 12 hours a day. You know, and if you need to know what that type of money is, you're talking barely under $100 a month to survive. And it's amazing, because when I'm looking at the numbers and I'm looking at the sacrificial hearts and the strength behind some of the men in Nigeria that's able to work and build buildings and build the capital in Nigeria. I didn't see a white man swinging a hammer. I didn't see a white man bags of salt. I didn't see a white man hanging from a building. I didn't see a white man even in the hospital when we went to the hospital to get our corona test. I'm like, where the white dot? I didn't see any of that. So that alone should give us the ability to understand our strength as a culture of people when we can basically operate a whole country or a whole state, because everything around there is functioning off of the black backs. And it's like, wow, they're building hotels. You know, I'm like, where's the ladder? Where's the hard hat? Where's the steel toe boots? Where's any of the safety protection gear to protect my brother from falling off of that roof? I didn't see any of this, but I see the wealth within the corruption of individuals that are profiting and exploiting the gifts and talents that God has given the black average individual in Nigeria. So I'm honored, I'm humbled, and I know God put me over there for a reason. And I just want to know, where do we take something like this? Because it's funny, because the day before I left, I said, oh, y'all got radio stations? And I do the radio. I do the radio on WOLB 1010 AM. And it was like, wow, I'm listening to the radio stations. And I'm like, look, these voices got to come together, because we're riding around the governor's house. Like, I'm literally right there in the same vicinity as the governor's house. And I'm like, let's just go to the governor's house. And then
yeah, Miss Flowers. Anyway, it's it's an honor. We're very glad that you join us today. But I know we're running a little bit out of time. But we're gonna continue the program. One thing that, like you said, this is not your first time going to Nigeria. Nigeria, believe me, is one of the best country, and this is not because I'm from Nigeria. Nigerian people are the humble people you can see anywhere in the world. They're very nice people.
Oh my Lord.
The only problem that we have in Nigeria, which you experience, that's what we're talking here, is about, it's nothing about bad governance. That's the only problem we had. If we start talking about it today, we're going to talk it till we don't know when. But
we're going to talk forever. We're going to talk forever.
We'll talk about it. You're walking out of the same radio station that we are walking up from. So you will be joining us. We'll talk about that later. But we're glad to have you today. I'm sorry we're running out of time.
Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Well, if we are talking about Nigeria, I'm a very proud Nigerian. I love that country because God has really blessed that country.
Honestly,
with so many things.
Country that knows respect. They know how to have fun. They know how to. They know how to.
And you know how to love. You know how to love. Y'all know how to love. Because when I seen an accident, I'm like, call 911. And people looking at me like the people in the cars are running to rescue victims. I don't care if your leg is cut off. I seen blood and I'm like, I'm ready to panic. But you have a group of people, I don't know if they had PhDs to be doctors.
Those are doctors. Yes, they're all doctors, unemployed doctors.
Everybody was a doctor.
They have everything in their group. They have everything in their
everything.
They have everything in their group, from lawyers to anything you can think of.
I ain't see no 911 and I ain't see no ambulance.
We have ambulance, but they're not functional. But that's one of those things. We'll be. Yes.
That's what we're talking about here. And that's why we're happy that the youth of Nigeria, they're standing on their feet to say no to bad governance. The problem Nigeria have is the kind of government we have. The people that are governing us, they're so corrupt that they don't want things to work out. But we got on our side, things are gonna change. God has given us 60 years of
Yes.
60 years upward, things are changing. I believe that. And we're all praying for better people to lead Nigeria. We're tired of the old people. We're tired of being recycled. We're tired of people looting our treasury, making Nigeria look like a pauper all over the world. Nigeria is not poor. We have mineral resources. We have everything. We have oil. We have crude oil. Everything. But we don't have good people leading the country. But with time, things are going to change. We're not supposed to suffer. If you look at the population of education in America, Nigerians are doing well. Even back home in Nigeria, the number of educated people cannot be quantified. But unfortunately, they don't have a job. Nobody is ready to hire them because the jobs are not available. The people that are supposed to retire for young ones to take over, they remain there on the seat. But God is going to help us. We're going to meet after the program. Maybe we're going to talk to see how we can move forward. We need people more people like you to come on board so that we can see what we're going to give back to the society. And that's why we're here. We're planning on what we can do to help our society back home. Thank you for coming, Miss Flowers.
Yes, I look forward to hearing from you guys.
Thank you very much for coming, Miss Flowers. We're rounding up the show now. We do not have too much time left. On behalf of my co-hosts, the Queen and Mr. Charles and Mr. Jason out there in the studio and Miss Flowers, my name is Tunde Phillips. I want to say thank you very much for joining us on this program. We look forward to seeing you next week. Once again, it's the David Adodo Show on 106.1 FM, African Voices Radio. Thank you so much for being part of this program.
Thank you, guys. Be blessed.
Thank you.
If he did it for me, he can do it for you. When I was a tingari, he came and changed my story. This time it's on your feet, oh. Brother, no more defeat, oh. Jesus carried the cross, carried the burden, sing and repeat, oh. I like what you do for me.
You're listening to African Voices Radio. Listening to African Voices Radio. You're listening to African Voices Radio. You're listening to African Voices Radio.
WLIF HD2 Baltimore.
The all-new Praise 106.1.
An Urban One radio station, minority controlled and operated and serving the African American community for over 40 years.
Giving our city just what we need right now. Baltimore's inspiration station. Praise 106.1.
From the Big Al Studio, Baltimore's #1 accident attorney.
I come here to urge every person under the sound of my voice to go to the polls on the 3rd of November and vote your conviction.